Hi everyone, Logan here again. Well, the nights are certainly getting colder now as we're sort of heading into winter, and I've got a couple of clear nights coming up. Tonight's supposed to be clear all night. We do have some bad weather on the way, so I'm going to hope I can make the most of these couple of nights. Now you can see behind me I've got the big 10-inch out, and I'm going to be imaging one of our bigger and brighter galaxies, and that's M83, or the Southern Pinwheel Galaxy. The Meade it normally has a focal length of 2500, but with a focal reducer on there it's more around about 2000, so it should give me a little bit more space around the galaxy than when I imaged it, I think probably a couple of years ago, but with the ASA 294 MC Pro. Now M83 is what's called a barred spiral galaxy. So it's a spiral galaxy a bit like ours, but it's called a barred spiral galaxy because there is a bar of stars running across the centre. It's a little unusual in the fact that it apparently acts like it has a double nucleus. Not that it's got two black holes, but it's got thought to have one big black hole and then a ring of stars around it which sort of rotate around the black hole, giving it an appearance of a double black hole or a double nucleus. It also, NASA said they've observed at least 6 supernovae in it so far, but they can see about 300 supernova remnants throughout the galaxy, and you can see it is peppered with these very bright red hydrogen alpha rich areas through the galaxy. They've also noted that there seems to be a lot of young stars that are forming on the edges of the spiral arms as well. So I'm hoping that I can get a better image than I got with the 294 MC Pro by using the mono camera and the filters. I'll be doing an HaLRGB because I really want to pick up those hydrogen areas, and at this stage probably going to do 5-minute exposures, see how we go. So fingers crossed it stays clear all night and I can get some nice data on this target. Okay, so here is the command centre, so to speak. We've got the 2 targets showing up here on any desk. So over here, this is what's going on in the observatory with the Skywatcher Esprit on the CM120, and there is the Centaurus A galaxy. And then on this side is the 10-inch Meade SCT, and that is on the Southern Pinwheel Galaxy, or M83. So yeah, it's quite good. You can just keep an eye on what's happening with both of those. I might just head outside and have a look and see how everything's going out there. Okay, so it's nearly midnight, so everything's been going quite well so far. I might just wander out and have a look and see what's happening out here. So I just got to navigate past the passion fruit plant, which is overtaking everything. Oh, try not to fall over. It's absolutely still, which is nice, which is great for the SCT because that big Meade really notices it when there's a bit of a breeze, especially if you've got the dew shield on it. So I'm just going to come around here a bit and just point around. There it is there. You can see it. It's pointing. I did the meridian flip not so long ago. Anyway, I won't shine too much more light on that because I don't want to ruin the images. Right, so I thought we'd just jump into Pixinsight and show you some of the sort of broad steps I've taken to process this image. I don't have every single step that I did, and there will be some big jumps in what's going on with the image. Also partly because I do take the image in and out of Photoshop because I find some things easier to do in Photoshop than Pixinsight, because there can be a little bit more control that you can have with masks, etc. But most of the processing is done in Pixinsight. So this is the red channel. Here we have the blue channel, and this is the green channel. and you can see these are actually all had a dynamic background extraction, but you know, it's a nice bright galaxy with lots of info there. Also my luminance stack here, again nice and bright, lots of detail, which will obviously be used for accentuating that detail once I combine the process luminance with the combined RGB image. And I also did some HA, because there are lots of areas of nice HA rich nebulosity throughout the galaxy, which really stand out because it's face on to us, and yeah, it looks really nice. So this is what my HA stack came out with. Obvious big problems here. My calibration files have not worked, and I've got all these dust motes, and I was going to go back and redo that, but then I thought, well, maybe I could take the lazy path, because I noticed that these dust motes were not involving where the galaxy was, and this is the only bit that I want to add to the red channel. So I went ahead and extract the HA using this formula here from Pixel Math, and the HA refers to obviously the file here. The red refers to the red channel here. I know this is red DB1 and this says red 1, but this was saved from a previous session I had where the red channel was called red 1. And then there's this Q factor here, which you can put under symbols, and then you can vary that depending on what result you get. You might try to 0.1, 0.2, 0.4, whatever. With this one, I can't remember exactly what I did, but the result I got was this, and this is kind of what you want. You still want a somewhat even looking background there, but you want to isolate just the nice HA areas, and you don't have all this sort of glow in the background, which is probably in the red channel anyway. And don't worry about these stars that look like they've got big black halos around them, because that just doesn't seem to affect the red channel once you recombine it with the next Pixel Math formula, which is this one here. And so as you can see, when I did the extract HA one, I got a file that was called new HA, and so that's in here again. You'll see there's a 1 here, that's again from a previous process where there was a 1 in it when I did it, but you know, to match this one I just removed the 1, and now it matches the name new HA. And then there's a boost factor over here, which you can vary. I think on this one I used a boost factor of about 3, but I have used higher on other ones, and you just want to try it out a little bit to make sure you don't overdo it, and you know, make those HA regions look a little bit silly. So what I ended up with on the red channel, now the other thing, so I should just go back and mention, I said I was adding this to the red channel, but I didn't want to add all this area here. I just wanted to add this area here. So the idea I decided was to create a mask that would just sort of isolate the galaxy to be affected by the Pixel Math when I add the HA, and I want to protect all this area around here. So what I ended up doing was using the game script. Now I think you have to download this as a separate, so if you Google game script you should be able to find it. And it will, when you go through the instructions and install it, it will go under utilities and game, and you end up with this sort of look. And then you can do things like add a simple ellipse and then drag these edges out just to create sort of, in this particular instance, which is nice and easy, a circular mask to show up the galaxy. If you've got other areas you wanted to, you know, highlight or mask or whatever, you can just keep adding ellipses and move them around wherever you like. I just removed that one. Or you can do multi-point, where you can actually click on that, and then you can click on various points in this in the mask, and you can change the shape to fit whatever object you're imaging. Then usually with the mask exports, I click gradient mask, and then you click OK, and you end up with something like this. I usually apply some convolution to this just to sort of make it a bit soft to the edges and blur it a little bit. Anyway, then I apply that to the reds. What I would normally do, bring this back up, I would place that on there like so, and if we go mask, show mask, there you can see, this would normally have a softer edge, as I said, I would have done convolution, but I've isolated the galaxy only, and the mask is sort of protecting the background, so those dust motes don't get added, and all the noise in the background doesn't get added. And I just remove the mask. And I'm just going to zoom in here a bit and show you the effect of adding the HA to the galaxy, and I'll just go backwards and forwards. You can see that's it with it added, and that's without it. So it really makes those areas of HA pop, which is really, really nice. Then it was a matter of combining those and to give me something that looked like this. And you know, already we've got some nice bits of color showing up. It's really light, but you can see the red areas of nebulosity, and the thing is to really bring those out. And to work on this better, I used Star Exterminator to remove the stars, and it did an excellent job, as you can see. And not only did it left behind the little galaxies, which is actually quite nice. It didn't sort of remove those, so you could, if you were trying to sort of increase the color of those, anything in these also would be affected, which would be nice. Or you can mask them out if you liked. And I did basically a series of curves, etc., and a couple of moves in and out of Photoshop to get something sort of similar to this. This wasn't the actual sort of final version. I don't think I saved that final version before I added the luminance data to it, but something like this anyway. Then it was a matter of going on to work with the luminance, and you can actually remove the stars in a similar fashion. This time for some reason I didn't, and I just went through and did my usual processing. I did some deconvolution actually on this, and I actually used the we got a script easy processing suite, and I used the easy decon here, and played around with some of the settings here, and the strength of the mask, etc., and the deconvolution, you know, these noise and noise threshold settings, and also decon iterations, pixel method iterations. You can vary those around so that you get a good result in whatever it is you are trying to increase the detail on, without creating those terrible halos around stars, which deconvolution often does. And I try this on different images. Sometimes I find I'm just not getting the benefit, and I'm getting the problems with the stars. But on this particular instance, I found it actually worked quite nicely, and I did get a bit of extra detail being brought out in the galaxy without having those halos to deal with in the stars. So I just stepped through here. This is going through the decon process, so you can see how it's going through its various steps. And so if you did get to see this, you'd be like, oh my god, what's going on with my image? But as it's going through its different processes, it all gets corrected back. And I think, one more time, it does its pixel math. No, again, and ended up with this, a little bit extra detail on this, and the stars still not showing any halos or whatever, which was nice. Then I like to do, I stretched it, sorry, that was the next thing to do, was to stretch it. And so then I like to add some HDR multi-scale transformation, just to sort of increase the contrast and bring out a bit more of that detail. And in order to do that, I just wanted to, again, work on the galaxy and perhaps these little galaxies, and perhaps one of these ones over here. I can't remember which one it was now, but what I did was I made a game mask again, but this time with sort of 3 ellipses. One which was circular for the main galaxy, and this one for those 2 little galaxies, and one for the little galaxy over here. And applied that to here, and then I applied some HDR multi-scale transformation. Now, I don't usually use 6. Occasionally I have. It's usually a bit too strong, but I usually find them somewhere about 7 or 8. And usually tick to lightness and to lightness mask, and then you can sort of apply that to a preview just to see how it's looking. And then once you're happy with the amount that it's changing, you can apply it to the whole image. You've just got to be a bit careful not to overdo it, because you can make the whole thing look way too harsh. So if I just step forward through here, that's the HDR multiscale just added there, and you can see it sort of brightened and darkened some areas, and just it looks like there's a bit more depth to the image. The other thing was some local histogram equalization. I usually find I've got this kernel radius up around about 100, based purely on what I've seen on some other videos done. And then the amount, usually you come down, and I have it pretty low. Sometimes it could be like 150, sometimes it could be 200. You don't want to be up here, because it just ruins your image. So you just want a bit of a subtle change there. And if we look at the Galaxy here, this is the local histogram equalization added, and it's just sort of a slightly subtle change, but again, just brings out a bit more variation in the areas in the Galaxy. And then what else do I do then? Oh, a bit more curves, just to sort of darken the background a bit. And then I did a just bring this up, and then I did a starless version, so that I could add this to, where are we, this one here, using the HaLRGB combination tool. So obviously, you know, this wasn't the final, but just to give you a bit of an idea, if we go to process, HaLRGB combination, and here's the luminance version is you put it into there, you untick your RGB, and if you have a look at this, once you add it to there, it'll just run through, and you'll suddenly see all the detail, the nice detail from the luminance will really jump out, and you get that nice combination of the color and the detail. We'll just let that run. It doesn't take too long. Doing a bit of chrominance noise reduction, and any second now it will appear. There it is there, and you can see how there's a big difference there with the detail and the color, which is quite nice. Now I should also mention that when I extracted the stars right at the beginning from the combined RGB exposures, I ended up with the extracted stars like this here, and what I did was spend a bit of time just to, you know, reduce the brightness of the stars a little bit so it wasn't overwhelming, and increase the star color a bit. And then using Pixel Math or Photoshop, you can combine, sort of add those stars back to the image again, to then end up with something that looked like this, which was the final full version, if you like, of the whole field of view. I decided to crop it in a little bit because I didn't like the look of some of these stars out here. As I said, as I've said before, stars are sort of something I struggle with a little bit to get them looking really, really nice, but hopefully making progress on that. And this was the final crop version here. So yeah, I'm really pleased with it. It's the best version I think I've created so far out of the 3 times I've imaged M83. This obviously has a bit more time put into it as far as exposure time, and also using the mono camera and the filters. Anyway, look, if you found this video or you enjoyed it, or you found it useful in any way, please hit the thumbs up button. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, maybe consider subscribing. That would be fantastic and really help the channel. And otherwise, I'll leave you with the final image, and I'll see you in the next video.